Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you. I am inside. If you're familiar with the channel, you know I love doing my reviews outside, but it is bitter cold out there. Today, I want to look at one of the most interesting shoes to be released this year. I've seen a lot of mixed feelings about these, and for me personally, I really like the backstory of these. I really like the history behind these. And I definitely knew that I was going to be going for a pair. I kind of assumed that I wouldn't get them just because I never hit on Nike SBs, especially the Quick Strike Nike SBs. However, my wife's account hit for these, and I'm pumped to get into them with y'all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Sandy Bodecker Nike SB Dunk Lows, or the eBay Dunks. I heard somebody saying that the colors of the Quick Strike Nike SB boxes are actually inspired by the original eBay Dunks. I don't know if that's true or not, but the colors really do match the eBay Dunks. So I could see that being the case, but I don't know if that's a fact or not. The tag reads Nike SB Dunk Low OG QS, which is for Quick Strike, and that just means it's a more limited shoe. The colors are white, hyper royal, and mean green. This is actually a size 6. I asked my wife to enter for a size 10. She didn't change the size whenever she entered to buy these, so it just defaulted to her size. I don't mind getting a size 6 in these, and we'll get into that here more in a minute. We've got the standard wood grain paper there, and there is our first look. Alright, so right off the bat you can see this is one of the wildest looking shoes I have ever seen. Nike SB comes out with some crazy designs, but I think this one might take the cake. It definitely grabs attention. I think even without this effect of being cut up, I think these would still grab attention a lot. But the fact that the shoe has these clear TPU areas and it looks like it was literally sawed into pieces, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've never seen another shoe that intentionally looks like it was cut into multiple pieces. So the eBay Nike SB Dunk actually first came out in 2003, and it was a collaboration with Nike and eBay, and the shoes were actually auctioned off on eBay. The first pair sold for $30,000, and at first it was anonymous. They didn't know, I think until a couple years ago, who actually bought that pair, but it ended up being Sandy Bodecker. That seems fitting because a lot of people actually credit Sandy Bodecker for the success of Nike SB and for really spearheading the effort to make Nike SB happen and keep it running all these years. His winning bid for the first pair was $30,000. And the first pair wasn't cut up like this. The first pair was a complete pair of Nike SB Dunks. And obviously it didn't have these spaces where it looks like it's missing material. And the reason why they did that with this pair is because, for one, those eBay Dunks back in 2003, they were a one of one. But there were a couple of sample pairs or prototypes or whatever, and to ensure that the shoe was a legit one of one, they took the two prototype pairs and they actually cut them into pieces, which then ensured that Sandy Bodecker did have the only pair of eBay Dunks that existed in the world. While I think these shoes are extremely interesting looking, and I love that they are kind of to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Nike SB and the eBay Dunks, I don't know how wearable they are. And it's not even a question of the style to me, because I do think that you could pull these off with the right outfit and with the right, you know, kind of personality. But for me, I think it would be more of a comfort issue. If you look at the top down, all around this collar, it's really nice and padded. However, where we get these areas that it looks like it's been cut and there's actually a gap in the shoe, this is just a clear TPU material. It actually feels like it would dig into your ankles really, really bad. I think this would drive me crazy. So it's not that I wouldn't wear these because I don't like the look of them. I actually do really like the look of them, and I love the story behind them. But for me, I just don't think it's realistic to wear them because I can't imagine that they would be comfortable. I really think that this would drive me nuts. And some people might not be bothered by that, but I'm the type of person, like, if I have a fuzzy in my sock or something, it can drive me insane. So I just feel like if I could feel this on my ankle, even if I was wearing socks, I don't think I would wear these. But I am very, very happy to have them in the collection because I think it's a really cool conversation piece. I think these things look so neat. Like, I plan on just setting them on a shelf in the office, and it kind of made my decision even easier not to wear them whenever the size that I got wasn't my right size. I will keep these in the collection and appreciate them just for what they represent. The fact that they were able to achieve this design and actually make it a wearable shoe, I think it's dope. And I think what it stands for is really neat and interesting. And I'm just really pumped to have these in the collection. I know some people might say, oh, those are meant to be skated. I can't imagine somebody skating these. I'm not saying that they won't, but I can't imagine these functioning well as a skateboarding shoe. But all that being said, you can see that this cut up design continues onto the outsole, where we have sections of a bright red color, but then we also have sections that look like it's like a translucent material, and it's not even like an icy blue. It's really just clear. Like, there's no color to it. So that kind of represents that gap that carries down from the upper. And I think that's a really neat touch. Obviously, it's the same outsole that we always have. So we have a pivot point in the front, Nike branding there at the midfoot. And the tread pattern is very close to a Jordan 1 or even just a regular Nike Dunk. As we come up from the outsole, you can see that that bright red meets a bright white midsole. And again, we have areas that are clear, and that continues to hammer home that theme of the upper being cut apart. And I just really, really think it's a cool design. On the mudguard, you can see that's a bright yellow color, and all these overlays are a patent leather. But we've got bright yellow on the mudguard. The eye stays have this mean green color. The swoosh is, I don't know if that's hyper royal, but it's a nice blue. And then we've got this nice bright red to match the outsole wrapping around the back. One difference is that on this release, it says SB and it has a swoosh. Some people have said that's for Sandy Bodecker and skateboarding, but I've always thought Nike SB is just for skateboarding. The original release had Nike on the back, but it was in a bunch of different colors, and it was in the eBay font. The white leather on this is actually a really, really nice material. You can see it there on the toe box where we have some perforations. And then you can see it in sections here as we go back, and on the back of the shoe where we have those classic rows of stitching. But if you press on that, it's actually a really, really soft, very, very good material. I do think that this is a really premium quality leather, but you also have more at the base of the tongue. I like how on these areas where it's cut up, it almost looks like they intentionally made it frayed, like it would have been just sawed apart. I don't know if that's coming through or not, but all the edges have little frays coming off of them, which makes it look like it's more naturally just kind of cut and ripped apart. The top of the tongue is really nice and chunky, like we get on most SB Dunks. It's really, really extra padded, but again, this tongue also has that effect like it's been cut apart, so it does have sections that have that clear TPU on it. I think it's neat how if you look at the shoe from the side, you can see the piping in that mean green color going up through that clear panel. And I feel like putting these things together, it was probably a nightmare creating these things in the factories. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but it just seems like it would have taken so much extra work to put all these clear panels inside of these shoes and make it all line up as well as it does. Just like our chunky top of the tongue, we've also got extra padding here in the back of the collar area, and I don't know if it would be enough to make up for this really thin, hard piece of TPU, but maybe it is padded enough that it would provide comfort and relief from this skinny plastic feeling part. The top of the tongue is woven, and it's a white color, and then it's got a red SB tag with a swoosh on it, and then it says hashtag Nike SB forever. And again, some people say that is in tribute to Sandy Bodecker. Some people say it just stands for skateboarding. One area that you can't doubt is a tribute to Sandy Bodecker is on the left insole. There's actually an image of him down on there, and he's holding the baby of one of the Nike designers that helped design this eBay Dunk. And at the heel, you can feel that it does have that extra support from the Zoom Air that we get in the SB Dunk insoles. The image on the right shoe is actually the foot of one of the designers inside one of the original eBay SB Dunks that was cut up to keep Sandy Bodecker's a real one of one. So that picture right there is where the inspiration of this shoe came from. They gave us some blue Hyper Oil SB style laces. They're like the extra thick rope style laces, and it didn't come with any extras. The sock liner is that mean green color, and it's kind of got like a silky or a satin type feel to it. Whenever I was first looking, I was thinking that the laces look like they were lined up differently than what they usually are. And then it occurred to me that we are missing some of the eyelets here. This area where we just have the clear TPU, there would usually be another hole for the laces to go through right here, but these laces look like they're stretched up higher than what they typically are because it had to span this section where we don't have a hole for the laces. But that was a pretty quick rundown of these kicks. Like I said, this isn't a pair of shoes that I bought thinking, oh man, I have to wear these will go with my outfits perfectly. But it is a pair that I really wanted in my collection because of what they represent and how unique they are. I can imagine that a lot of work went into creating these things, and from the time that they came up with the idea to actually seeing it through, I just think it's commendable because it really is very, very unique. I've never seen anything like this, and it does such a good job of telling a story, and I'm really pumped to have them in my collection. But let me know what you all think of these, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.